hope you have all chosen a nice warm beverage as we sit down and talk about some books. What's up, everyone? Today we are going to be talking about the books I'm going to be reading this fall. I have a lot of spooky reads on here that I'm planning to read during the month of October and also November, and I can't wait to read them, so let's get started. First book we have here is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I have had this book for a while now. It's definitely on my TBR and I can't wait to read it. Basically, I love Ruth Ware's book because they just give you those creepy vibes, and I know after I read some of her books I probably won't be able to sleep. The next book we have is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I read the first one about 2 years ago and I've already started it. I'll admit, guys, I'm having a hard time getting into it right now, but I'm hoping that once the story gets taken off, then I will really like it because I love the first one. Basically, we are introduced to a new EO. Basically, life-death situations have left them with these superpowers. So this is the second book, and Victor versus Eli, and I can't wait to see what happens because, like I said, there's a new character introduced and it sounds like she's the main person that's going to drive the plot. I'm excited to read it though. It sounds pretty good. The next is a classic, but it's been on my TBR for a few years now, and that is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I don't know how much I should explain because you probably already know. Basically, there's a picture of this guy, he lives forever, and kind of the picture just starts to show his true self. So I've been wanting to read this, like I said, for a few years now, but I didn't want to buy the book. Sometimes I just can't get into classic, and so I didn't want to spend too much money on it, but I found it at a library. It was during their library sale, and so I bought it, and so I do want to read this. Another book I plan to read this fall is A Conjuring of Light by V. Schwab. Again, I've read the first two books over a few years now, so now this is the third and final book. I can't wait to read it. I think it's the length. It's not too big, but the fact is I just need time where I'm going to be able to commit myself to reading it and not have to put it down, pick up, put it down, pick it back up. But I can't wait to read it. Like I said, I love the first two books, and I don't want to say too much because without giving the first few books away, but yes, cannot wait to read this. Highly recommend the series. It's really good. The next book we have is In a Deep Dark Wood. Now this book I feel will keep me up at night. I do not see myself sleeping in the near future with this book. Mango will have to become a guard cat. It says, what should be a cozy and fun-filled weekend deep in the English countryside takes a sinister turn in Ruth Ware's suspenseful, compulsive, and darkly twisted about psychological thriller. Guys. Oh my goodness. Lenora, known to some as Lee, to others as Nora, reclusive writer, unwilling to leave her nest of an apartment unless it is absolutely necessary. But when a friend she hasn't spoken to in years unexpectedly invites her to a weekend away in an eerie glass house, you run. That's what you do. You run. She reluctantly agrees to make the trip, so you don't leave your house, but then when your friend invites you to an eerie place, you're like, sure, let's go. As the first night falls, revelations unfold among friends, old and new, and an unnerving memory shatters Nora's reserve. But before she makes a decision to leave, a haunting realization creeps in. Party is not alone in the woods. Guys, this 48 hours later, Nora wakes up in a hospital bed with the knowledge that someone is dead. I'm wondering not what happened, but what have I done? Nora tries to piece together the events of the past weekend, working to uncover secrets, reveal motives, and find answers. Nora must revisit parts of herself that she would much rather leave buried where they belong, in the past. So that sounds like I'm not going to be able to sleep for a while. I don't know, just the fact that she doesn't leave her house much. Maybe she's trying to hide from something, and so when she goes to the cabin, it's unveiled. Who knows? Again, it's creepy, it's dark. I'm excited to read it. Next, we have The Death of Mrs Westaway. I think that's how we say it, by Ruth Ware as well. One day that begins like any other, Harriet Westaway receives a mysterious letter bequeathing her a substantial inheritance from her grandmother. Hal knows there's been a mistake. Her grandparents have been dead for more than 20 years, and she hasn't had anyone to help her since her mother died 3 years ago. But the bills are piling up, and Hal is running out of options. Down on her luck and worn thin by the weight of adulthood, Hale can't help but wonder if the cold reading skills she's honed as a tarot card reader might help her claim the money. Soon, Hale finds herself at Trespassen, the sprawling estate of the English countryside where the deceased Mrs Westaway family has gathered to pay their respect and claim their bequests. But it doesn't take long for Hale to realize that there's something very, very wrong about this strange situation, and the inheritance is at the center of it. This one I really don't have predictions for. I think it's going to be creepy, but I don't think it's going to scare me. I think it's going to be good though. It sounds good. And then the last book I want to read, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And you're like, what? All the other books had like this creepy fantasy element, and then I picked Pride and Prejudice. Guys, this is another one of those books I've tried to read multiple times and I haven't. I think it's just because everyone knows the story of Pride and Prejudice, so you know how it's gonna end, and so I really want to read it because I feel like this is a great fall book. That is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna finally read this, and I tell myself that every year, and then it never happens. So we'll see. Let's hold me accountable by putting in this video. I'm gonna read Pride and Prejudice, if not in the fall, by the end of this year. Anyways, guys, those are the books I plan to read this fall. Write in the comments below what books you plan to read. Have you already read some spooky books so far this year? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye!